All right, everybody, welcome back to the pod. Today we talk a little NFL. It's back. It's draft season. Free agency is over. We can actually start talking about things that are happening. The NCAA tournament is happening right now, so if I seem distracted, it is because I am. And then maybe dabble in some NBA talk if we have time. But I am here. My guy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the multi-time flag football champion. My guy Daniel, what is going on?
What's up, man?
Hey,
Oh, March Madness is here,
it is.
and you know,
And we as a collective podcast team have taken the first L. But we're not gonna harbor on that. We've done this
yeah,
back and forth too many times.
I couldn't even act like my team's about to make a run before we just out first
first
round. It's
first
like
four games. It was
first four. It's like I did all that arguing why we should be in the
a
tournament, and just like, oh well, this is why you have to play in the playing game, basically.
it happens, man. It
Like
happens. That's why we gonna
shaking
move
my
on
head,
because we need
man.
good juju in the world. We need Hunter Dickinson to do something.
Yeah,
And
whatever.
by the time this pod is over, we'll probably have a pretty good idea of what's happened to KU.
Right.
So
If we talking shit at the end, you know why.
let's start with NFL. So where would you like to start here? Wait, hold on. Before we do that, I actually have somewhere I want to start. Can
Okay.
we? I want national media to please shut up about Aaron Rodgers. Like
Uh,
he hasn't even went anywhere yet. That's
yeah,
what the conversation is about. Is about why are people still talking
well,
about Aaron Rodgers?
because we know that's what he wants, and then it's kind of like the Jerry Jones in the owner world, as in like, in order to stay valid, or in Jerry Jones' case, in order for the Cowboys to stay valid, I got to keep talking about him and talk about what I'm gonna do. X, Y, Z. Just like Rodgers, his team keeps putting out, because I don't think it's these teams like when are the Steelers ever known to put out who they want X, Y, and Z in the free agency? They usually one of those teams where they just like, oh, okay, they got. Nobody knew they was going to get Justin Fields. We knew they was getting somebody,
Yeah,
and then they also went and got Russell too. We kind of knew they was going to get Russell, but that was kind of different. But Aaron Rodgers, I don't I don't see why I don't see why the Steelers would go get him. I would rather go back and get Russell if I was in.
I'm
If I
about to
was them,
say they don't have a choice.
I
It's either Russ or Aaron
or,
Rodgers.
right. And if I was the Steelers, I would probably go back to Russ. To be perfectly honest, like, let's see how a year with Russ plays when Justin Fields is not looking over his shoulder. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, just look on that aspect. I guess if I'm just trying to think of everything, why I would want Russ over Aaron Rodgers. It's
It's
just like
it's not good. If
it's
those are your choices, you're in a
like.
bad spot. It's too late. You fucked up. And
I mean,
particularly for the Steelers, you don't even have a high draft pick. So you're really
but I like the idea of trading back, accumulating some seconds, and getting a quarterback in the second round.
yeah, but if you do that, you need a quarterback to play now. You still need somebody of value.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying.
So yeah,
Resign
Russ.
Russ to the minimum, or a little bit over the minimum, and then go get a quarterback in the second round. I mean, Jackson Dart, Milrow, somebody that can learn under Russ,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then hopefully one of them becomes a decent enough starter. I guess,
Is
because
good
I
year
mean,
two. Like all you just have to hope. Because how long is Russ or Aaron Rodgers really have left? 2 years? Like if something goes
no,
wrong with your young quarterback, can you go another year with one of them?
Russ has maybe two. I didn't go say he has 2 years where he needs real good players around him to do their job, and he can look sustainable. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has. He probably got 1 year with like hints of a
Yeah.
good, like, just like, oh look, Aaron Rodgers did good against the Jets, or oh, but looks horrible against every playoff team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I just don't. I don't see why like Aaron Rodgers would still even be on anybody's books. Like Daniel Jones,
Just
like
it's
what?
just because it's Aaron Rodgers.
I
There's
mean, not
nothing
Daniel
else
Jones,
to
the
it.
Giants. Like, ooh, they
I
suck.
somebody made a good
Like, what
point.
do we?
They was like, if Aaron Rodgers, it might be only here to pass Brett Favre on all the charts, on touchdowns and yards. He's 8,000 yards away from Brett Favre and being the number 4 all-time yard leader. and he's 5
So
touchdowns away from passing Brett Favre. Just to fucking,
okay,
just to stick it to him. That shit would be crazy if he played
yeah,
fucking
but
2 more years
8,000.
just
Do
to
you
do
see
that.
him getting 8,000? You know how long it would probably take Aaron Rodgers to get 8,000 yards? It's like 4 more. What,
It
3.5 more
depends.
years?
It depends. If you go somewhere like the Steelers, probably. But if you go somewhere like the Giants, maybe you throw for 5,000 yards year one and lose all
Why
but
was
2
he?
games.
How is he? How is he throwing for 5,000 with the
Because
Giants?
they'll be down 10 every game, all game. 14 out of 17 games, you're gonna be down
Guess
2
what?
scores.
Even with the Jets, he still couldn't throw for
That is a good
5,000.
point. That is good.
Like it's
But their
just
defense was
like
solid enough that it always kind of felt like they had a chance at some point in some of those games. I have a feeling if you go to the Giants, I'm just tired of the Aaron Rodgers. We just did it. To be fair to national media, we just did it too. I just
yeah,
wanted
we
to bring
did it
that up real quick because
because I had to. Yeah,
it's just ew. Stop. Let's just stop talking about until he does something. Just don't talk about it. That's it. That's
I
it.
don't even want. To be honest, I don't even want to talk about when he do something. I just tell you. I just gave you my who would I do. So if
Yeah.
he goes to the Steelers, no, I don't like it. So don't ask me. It's like,
Well, let's go back to
yeah,
the former team of Aaron Rodgers, the Jets. I know you like Justin Fields. So,
guy,
how do you feel about his
Justin Fields
fit
guy.
with the Jets now that he's signed there and
Well,
he's their starter? Like, there's
well,
no,
I mean, well, I've been saying he was going to the Jets regardless. I said they was getting one of those Steelers quarterbacks, and they
yeah,
got the younger one. They got the younger one too. And then I guess his upside at this point is higher than Russ's or
yeah,
anybody that was on the. To be honest, on the free agency market at the point, he was the higher upside quarterback. Because
hmm
other than that, it was like older quarterbacks.
true. There's not a
So
lot. Yeah, wasn't a lot there. We talked about that. Like,
So I mean, what the best you can get is Justin Fields for 2 years, and if it don't work out, get Archie.
yeah, I guess, yeah,
Yeah, like so. I mean, and then he's probably cheap. I mean, I like it's a new Jets coach, so I don't know. It ain't like I can say I like that
yeah.
system because it's
Defensive
a new.
coach too.
Yeah,
Who's
so it's just like
the offensive coordinator for the Jets?
good question. Not even gonna spread out no names. They move so much now.
Tanner Engstrand. He's the passing game coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Okay, so
That
Aaron
makes that
Glenn brought
makes
somebody
sense,
with him that he knew was part of that
right?
offensive unit calling the plays. All right, that's cool.
Right. I mean, so if you got the which means we all know the Lions was famous for passing, which means if he's the offensive coordinator, he's going to implement some of that passing. So it'll be interesting to see if Justin Fields can drop back
And do anything.
and and then because it sounds like maybe drop back 30 times, he might, and then run the other 10, maybe adapt. What's that? Jaden Daniels type of offense. See if
Yeah,
he can do it. I mean,
I'm
that's what
trying
I
to
think.
find. I looked this up the other day and I forgot to save it. But I looked up. Did you know Justin Fields is 20? He just turned 26. 2 weeks ago.
That's still pretty young.
The list of people along with him that have 44 starts in their career
Yeah,
and
he
have,
came. Didn't he come out later than a lot of people in his class,
I don't know. I don't think
or you
so.
just
He's been in the league. If it's he's been in the league longer than it feels like he's been in the league. It's because of the lack of starts. He just ain't
well,
played.
yeah,
He got drafted 2021, so he's been in the league. This will be his 5th year.
fifth year,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's been in the league for a minute, and it just hit me of like, damn, he 26 and he only got 44 starts. So I looked it up, and it was just the names that were there with him and the lack of like production he's had in the 44
Well,
starts is like
but you remember,
startling.
you got to remember when he first came in the league, the Bears were still trying to figure out if they wanted Trubisky or not.
True,
So he didn't really start off the rip like a lot of other quarterbacks.
that's true. I'm trying to find it because some of them names you can be like, he threw more than fine combined. See, there we go. But yeah, it's not great. Because I think
And
in
you
his
going off,
44
and the list is
games,
go off of what? How many games played, or how
it's the
many touch?
yards within having 44 starts. That was the
Oh,
startling
okay.
part, where it was like, I think he was at like 7,000 yards
Oh
in
yeah,
44
dude.
starts.
I think in his career he averages what, like a little over 250 passing yards, if that.
It was yeah,
It was like 230 maybe. I
it's
don't know, somewhere in
bad.
that range.
It was bad. I was just like, oh my god. But I just let's see. So Justin Fields is here at 44, and then there was names like RG3. Now you wouldn't say RG3 was a running quarterback, right? He had 42 starts, but he threw for 9,271 yards versus Justin Fields in 44 starts, throwing for
Yeah, RG. It's
7,780.
RG3 rookie year.
But the crazy part is, you would assume hearing that, right? Like that. So the attempts would be lower. The attempts aren't lower. That's
Right.
the crazier part. So it's 1,200 attempts for
But
RG3 versus
RG3
1,100 attempts. It's
he
like,
was a
what is?
real good quarterback. He just got his career cut short. I don't think
Yeah,
RG3
yeah, yeah,
would,
yeah, yeah.
if he was able to play longer, RG3 would have been pretty nice.
Okay, how do you feel about Brian Hoyer having
Yeah, I don't like that
41
name at
starts and
all.
having
I did,
1,100? He had, or 11,000 passing yards in 41 games.
well, yeah, but also
So it's like,
Brian
what the
Hoyer. Yeah,
fuck?
Brian Hoyer also had no choice to throw the ball because he can't run.
True.
So it's just
Okay,
like,
here, let me interest you in another name that
and then
threw
if
me
I'm not
off.
mistaken, Brian Hoyer played for the Texans. Didn't he have
He started,
Andre
yeah.
Johnson for a second
There was
too?
one of those years he went off that kind of inflates this a little bit. It
He
was
had Andre
with
Johnson
Cleveland.
for a second, right?
I
Or am I
think
thinking another?
no, you thinking
I
of
don't know.
somebody else. It was his Brian Hoyer's good years was in Cleveland, and he has one year
Mm.
here where he started. He started 13 games. He had 3,000 yards, and then yeah, that was his.
Was that the year with Josh Gordon?
Probably, yeah. It was 2014, so that sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, that's that guy Josh Gordon year.
Can I interest you in another name? Colt McCoy, 8,000 yards in 36 starts. Like this, you're in a weird list. If Justin Fields doesn't
Well,
pop now, he's in a
I
weird
mean, but that's
Trevor
the but
Simeon.
no, but the thing is,
And
like
like,
the thing about it is, he kind of is in that list right
yeah,
now.
it's just the
Like
rushing
you naming
separates
those,
him. But it's like,
you
ooh,
naming those quarterbacks is not like, oh my god, like I'm surprised. Like I've watched football and I've seen how his
yeah.
career is
But
going,
to
and
me,
I'm not surprised. You remember I said a week ago, I
yeah,
said it not a week ago, but a couple months ago, I said it before the Jets did everything and how the NFL season ended. I was like, Justin Fields might be a glorified like number two. He might just make a career of being a real good backup.
yeah.
Like,
And it just put
but
in perspective to me like what we're talking about. You know what I mean? When people are talking
I
about Justin Fields being the Jets quarterback, what does it
well,
mean? It's like,
I
well, I
think
don't
this
think
is
it means
his.
a lot. If that's what the
It
guy
means
we're
a
talking
lot to
about.
him because the
Well,
thing
yeah,
about it is it
this is
might be
it.
his last go
Yeah,
round to show people he could be a starter.
that's what it showed me. Was like, oh, this is it. Like you
Yeah,
have this year, and after that, you are Brian Hoyer. You are Colt McCoy.
yeah.
Like,
You're where now. I mean, everybody know what type of career. I mean, quarterbacks go to the Jets. Like we won't see you too much as a starter if it don't go too well with the Jets.
it's over. I mean, look, speak Aaron
Like
Rodgers again. Look at that.
a lot of those quarterbacks made or break their career going to the Jets. I mean, look at Fitzpatrick. He went off there and he ended up getting a
True.
contract somewhere. But look at all the other quarterbacks who went there and
Look at Mark
down the
Sanchez.
drain.
Whole career, like his whole career was just 3 years or something crazy, and he got him to the AFC Championship twice and didn't mean anything. But it's like, yeah, so this quarterback free
I
agency
kind of, I
was,
mean, I kind of like it for Aaron Glenn as a quarterback. I mean, as the coach, because it might save his job. Like if he was to go get like a bigger name quarterback,
yeah,
it might be too much pressure on him for his first couple years. But now they went and got Justin Fields, and they probably already had to talk like, "Yo,
yeah.
let's get Justin Fields and see how it is." But then we can go get the quarterback we really want in the next
hmm
couple years.
That buys them a year too, because if they're not
Right,
good, they can be like, well, I mean, look at the quarterback.
Right.
It's Justin Fields. What do you want me to do? We have Justin Fields and no
we,
backup plan. What do you want me to do?
right. It's just like this is what we have right now.
Yeah, we're
Like,
building around. We're building a team to hopefully draft a quarterback to kind of put in
right.
here, or do what happened in Detroit is like go get somebody that we can plug in that's like a higher one level higher. That's in
Right.
like the middling tier quarterbacks right now.
That's
Also,
why going to get the Lions. What is it? The Lions pass game coordinator and making him your OC, and not going to get Sam Darnold is crazy because you'd
true.
be like,
But they can't. That's where he came. The Jets can't go get Sam
they didn't.
Darnold, bro.
Well,
Like,
they didn't have
there's too many
money, right?
scars of that. No. That's where.
Oh yeah.
That's
That's
where he
right. Duh.
started at. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
seeing ghosts
See,
and
that's what
all
I'm
that
saying.
shit. He
I
can't do
forgot
that.
he been so much. Boy, I forgot all about Sam Darnold playing for the Jets. It's
Yeah,
another guy.
he's right there. Yeah,
Like, so many quarterbacks have been there, boy.
he went Jets, Panthers, Niners,
Yeah.
Vikings, Seahawks. Now,
Vikings
like,
now the Seahawks.
damn, he almost played
Speaking
for
of
the
that
whole
move,
NFC West. God damn, just need to go
well, he'll
play for the
probably be on
Cardinals now.
Arizona
Yeah,
soon. He'll be on Arizona soon. Don't worry.
because hey, Kyler could be.
Hey, listen.
We've talked about this before, but I think we are slowly moving into people realizing, hey, there's not a lot of good quarterbacks. There's five, and then there's five great,
There's everybody
and then
else.
there's five pretty good, sometimes bad, and then there's 20 other guys that are just guys. And
Well,
just
I
because
mean,
you draft somebody doesn't mean shit. Like,
isn't that what we said? Uh, like how it is in every generation. You probably
yeah,
got like five, like
yes,
bona fide. These are the five best. These are the five you're gonna hear and talk about, and they're gonna
yep.
run media, and everybody else are just they might have their year here and there. Like these are just the guys.
I just
Like,
think people overestimated how many good quarterbacks, because that's what you heard a lot. There's so many good quarterbacks in the league. Who really needs a quarterback? Well, everybody but 10 teams. Like most of the
well,
league needs another
most of the
quarterback.
well, the thing about it is, all you got to do is be like, what team put this quarterback on the market, and what team wouldn't call for him?
Yeah,
Like it's on, but and also
like
it's a
look what
lot
the
of teams who
Seahawks just did,
quarterbacks.
bro.
It's a lot of teams who quarterbacks are serviceable,
Yes,
but are always looking for the next best thing because they don't know who their quarterback really is
yeah,
year in and year out. And I think this is a make. As for Jordan Love, like they still don't even know who he is. Like they
yeah.
just know he can ball, but he also be on some dumb shit. He don't got too much years to prove in Green Bay before they
True.
start looking for
Like,
another
hey, bro,
quarterback.
you had half a good
Arizona,
year.
I think this. I'll be very surprised if Kyler Murray don't get traded to either that before trade deadline is over this year or next year. Like I think that Kyler Murray
That's very
experience
possible.
in Carolina, and with the Cardinals are done. And then who you got? Who else you got? I don't think the Panthers actually know who they playing over there either. They just re-signed somebody, Andy Dalton,
Yeah.
because they don't know if Bryce Young. That whole experiment, they gonna need a quarterback soon. So
Ooh, so here, like I just pulled up a list of all the starters under the age of 27. So Dolphins,
yeah,
Titans, Packers, the Jags with Trevor Lawrence are in that same boat you're talking about.
well his is
The
different because they
Colts.
just paid him.
The Colts too. Like,
So
can Anthony Richardson actually play football without dying? Like, like can
or
he
without
stay alive? Like, fuck.
can he play football without throwing 22%?
Yeah, well,
Like
shit.
on
He
the
gotta
like
he gotta play all the games first before we can even talk about his completion percentage being bad or not. This man can't
yeah,
stay healthy.
yeah, but when he do play, Lord,
It's bad. It's not great. He runs the ball good, and he is this. This is why it's so silly. He's Daniel Jones.
I
He
got
is
in.
less accurate Daniel Jones. Like,
I got into it with a guy at my brother barbershop because he said Caleb Williams is a bust, but Anthony Richardson isn't. I said
it's just
that,
because you feel like you haven't seen enough. It's because he's fucking hurt.
and I was just like, I was really sitting here appalled. I was like, Caleb Williams for the Bears, a
That's
bust,
crazy.
And Anthony, you riding dying for Anthony Richardson. I'm like, ain't no fucking way this about to happen.
Like Caleb Williams, we know is at least with the season he just had, he's at least Kyler Murray, which means you're gonna start
Right.
for the next 5 years, no matter what. He's gonna
I
be a
told him I'd
starter
be
for his
surprised
first
if Anthony
contract.
Richardson's on that roster in 2 years.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff
I'd
that
be
I've
very
listened to and
surprised.
read where people are talking about what are the Colts going to do at quarterback next. Like they talk about the Colts like they
Yes.
don't have a quarterback really.
I
Like
don't think they really have.
I'm
They have guys that they put back there,
yeah.
but to like in the AFC, where all the four of the top five quarterbacks is, and then you got one hovering top 10 with Justin Herbert. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
They
four
all in
top
the
five.
AFC. Yeah. You could argue all five of the top five are in the AFC. Because I don't know who Jalen
Lamar.
Hurts. Your argument is Jalen
I don't know
Hurts
who's
at
the
fifth.
fifth. To be honest, we said this already.
We've done this
The
1,000
fifth,
times. Yeah.
fifth is the only. The fifth is like basically
Who
who's the
had a
best
good
quarterback,
year?
who did best this year, and right now it is Jalen Hurts. But
Mm-hmm.
going to week 7 next year, it probably won't be.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It was Brock
so.
Purdy. It was Dak. People were trying to put Dak in there. People were trying to put
I mean,
Herbert. People were trying to put
Matthews.
Jalen
People
Hurts,
tried to sneak Matt Stafford
Stafford.
back in there, Golf in there. Like
F-
people had their little in and
it's just
outs.
whoever's playing well at that point. Like
Right. But we know who the top 4 is. So
yeah,
to say the Colts have the reason why they talk about the Colts like they don't have a quarterback is
because you're not
because they
even
don't have
close.
one that's at all.
Yeah, you're not even close. We don't know what he is. It's kind of the same thing with Bryce Young. It's like, do we know what Bryce Young is?
I think we
Probably.
know what he is, but he kind of just saved himself another half a year with the way he ended
I
last year.
mean, yeah,
But
with 4 games. That's a weird way to
Carolina's
think to
gonna do
me.
what Carolina always do. Bryce Young's gonna probably be 1-3 going into week 4, and week 5 is gonna be is Andy Dalton about to start the rest of the season. Then he's gonna probably play 4 games. He's gonna go 2-2, but his last game's gonna suck so bad that I think they're gonna sneak Bryce Young back in there. And it's just like it's the Panthers every year, like, and that's their season.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got. Darnold to the Seahawks. I think it's weird that the Seahawks said, "Hey, let's take a quarterback that's been a perennial backup, and he balled out for us for what 3 years? Was Gino there for 3 years?
Yeah.
And let's swap him out for a guy who is essentially the same, but we have no idea if he's going to be as good as Gino's been for 3 years. Damn.
And
Okay, he started for 3 years, but he been on the Seahawks for 5 years. This would have been his
he didn't.
sixth season.
He was.
He was the
Remember, he was
backup.
Russ's backup.
Yeah. But that's what's like.
And then
Damn, that is crazy. And in that time, he was averaging 250 yards a game, 50 TDs to 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
Oh no, 20 interceptions. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong.
No,
thing.
his
Yeah, that's solid. 17 to 15 though.
his win or loss
Hold on, that can't be right. Why did it show up like that?
was 17-15. His win loss?
Yeah.
How is he 17-15 and through? That's only like 2 seasons.
Okay, no, 27 and 22. That's why I was like, how the fuck?
I'm like,
I must have misclicked. So it's actually 250 a game. Completion percentage 68, completion percentage 69 almost. 71 touchdowns, 35 interceptions, still 2-1, 12,000 yards. He was really good. And now you're hoping that Sam Darnold can be that.
Well, I'm just very.
To be fair, Gino is 35 years old.
Sam Darnold is what, 32?
29.
I don't know why I feel like he older than what he is.
Sam Darnold might be younger than that, actually, now that I think about it. He's 27. What the fuck? He's a year younger than Justin Fields.
How long was Sam Darnold? What? He's been in the league like
since
10 years. I swear he's been like 10 years. Nigga.
It has been. It's been 7 years.
He came out when he was 20?
He must have. It says he was 21 in 2018. He's going into his 8th year next year.
Well, he'll be 28 this year. So that means he'll be 28 sometime next year.
280 days. So he's 2.5 months. So yeah, he's about to turn 28 in May. June.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
but still, he that
June
means he
5th.
really
Okay.
that means
Yeah.
he came in the league around 2020.
He
When
came in. I think
I
he got
feel like
drafted at
that's what I'm saying.
20.
I feel like he been in the league a long
So he
time,
did.
but
He had
that
to.
is pretty
He got
young.
drafted at 20 and
He
turned
went through so
21
many
before
different.
training camp.
He went through so much
Yeah. Jets
in
for
a
3 years.
in that
Carolina for
8 year
2.
span
Yeah. And that's why people keep giving him a chance. Honestly, is
because
because
he's young.
he's
Yeah,
still
that
not
makes
30,
sense.
and he's in his
Right,
almost 10th year, and he's not even 30 yet. So I
that
guess
man been
there's a
racking up
version for the
checks from
Seahawks.
everybody.
Yeah, I guess the Seahawks see it as, hey, if he can be as good as Geno, we might be able to squeeze 6 years
Yeah,
out
but
of
I'm
him.
just right. Yeah, because he's younger, and I
Yeah,
mean they got him 3 years, $33 million a year
yep,
too. So it's fairly cheap in his quarterback market.
yeah. We got him till
So
30, and then we can give him another contract if he's decent. If he gives us the
right.
same production as Geno over these next 3 years, we can
Well,
get three more.
in 2 years if we win the division one out of the 2 years and he's Sam Darnold from the Vikings, we might give him an extension.
Exactly. We can extend him till
So,
he's 35 and have like a nice run here. We can build a team
but
around a cheap
but I'm
quarterback.
interested on what they're gonna do because they got rid of DK. I mean, so that and then they got Smith and Jugba, but they need to put somebody else with him because I don't think him he don't need to be double teamed this year. It's gonna be rough
Oh, they signed
for Sam
they
Darnold.
signed MVS.
And then also they need to go get somebody that's not MVS. Like
They signed
we
Cooper
know what
Cup. That's
MV.
the other one I was thinking of. There you go. Cooper Cup and MVS. That's your
I just want to see.
your wide
So
receivers.
and Smith and Jugba, Cooper Cup, and MVS.
Yeah.
So somebody who just runs seam routes, somebody who don't even stay on the
God
field
damn.
the whole time, and then and no, they need to
No.
draft somebody.
Yeah,
They
they
probably
have
end up
to.
drafting Arizona's. I think it's nice that they
What pick
give
they
it
got? Top
Arizona's quarter.
5? 6?
Uh,
It's up there,
they
ain't it?
need the Seahawks. They
Yeah.
wasn't that bad last year to get a six pick, was they?
Yeah, I think you're right. Who's
They somewhere like
this draft is so fucking weird. Oh,
ain't they
18th.
like
They're
21?
18th.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah, because
like-
once you said that, I was like, yeah, they fucking were they in the fucking playoffs
Yeah,
or
so
just missed? But yes, you signed Sam Darnold, you
so
trade
they
Geno.
get
I mean, that's
a nice
solid though.
receiver, a nice receiver at 18. I think that's right when receivers might start coming off. To be honest, like Burden from Mizzou, McMillan from Arizona, uh, some other ones. Tight end. Do they go tight? Do they got a tight end? Who's that? Noah. Do they still got Noah Fant? I don't know.
It looks
But
like a lot of people have them taking O line,
okay, well,
offensive line.
I'm just gonna stop talking about the Seahawks
Yeah,
because I don't.
I ain't been
I
paying
get
attention enough.
O line.
I did hear somebody talking
Don't
about that.
please Seattle. Don't go into the season thinking
Cooper Cup. A lot of
Cooper
white guys
Cup.
named
All these
Cooper
damn.
floating around
I'm
now.
about to say Cooper Flag. Right? It's just like uh, don't think him
Yeah, MVS,
MVS and Smith and
JSN.
Jugba is gonna be it. With Sam Darnold, you know he just
Yeah.
came from JJ, Jordan Addison, Hawkinson.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't think he was good and was putting them on. No, 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 no. He had a
Ooh.
good.
Yeah.
What, y'all gonna run the ball with Walker the whole time, or did not see Walker get signed? Did they re-sign Walker or?
I think so. Yeah.
Uh,
Let me see.
what they gonna run? What he gonna tote the ball 30 times?
Yeah. With a bad O line.
Lord,
Yeah.
have fucking mercy, boy.
Let's see. Did you? Yeah. He's still there. He's still signed there.
Yeah, so it sound like Walker.
Oh,
I'm about to
this
put.
is last year. They didn't re-sign him. He's on a 1-year deal.
So he's not on. He's currently a free agent.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
he signed a 1-year deal.
no. He's just has one. He's on the final year of his rookie deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't give him a new. They didn't. That's crazy. They didn't
They
give him a
need
new
to.
deal. That
They
seems
need
silly.
to.
Yeah, because all
Yeah.
this shit is from a month ago. So they just said fuck it. Okay, no, he did.
About to say, I hope so. Like
No,
that's
this
crazy.
is his rookie contract. Wow.
Because he got drafted. Well, he got drafted, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah. No, yeah. 2022, yeah. This is last year of his rookie deal. Wow. He's a free agent next year.
They gonna let that man walk?
I guess so. He's
That's
24.
dumb. Especially with this running back market, he'll make some bread too.
Yeah.
A nice 3 4 year contract, 3 year contract.
This is crazy.
He'll get about 15 million a year. He'll probably get a 3 year 45. They can get him 3 year 45. Like
Yeah.
he'll take it. That's around what running backs is making right now. If he gonna be your starter,
Yeah, if they do that shit where they're just pretending like you can just go get another another guy, that's fucking stupid, bro. You just seen it not work. Now, not saying
well,
Kenneth Walker is fucking Saquon, but like
Ken Walker's been
he's
good in their
good.
offense, right? He'll
Uh,
get you 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns.
yeah, basically he's 1,050 and 908. But in these he only played 15 games, and then he played 11 last year
Right.
and had 507. Yeah, so he's like a solid. You would, I guess the best thing is like you sign him to an $8 million deal, and you get a good backup, which they
Right.
have. Yeah, what are they doing? Seattle's just a weird
Because they
team,
got
bro.
Shepard. They think Shepard not dude gonna be
Charbonnet, yeah, I guess.
Charbonnet. They trying to run the table with him after Kenneth Walker walk. I mean,
I
Charbonnet is
guess
pretty
so.
good, but don't they also
Oh,
got?
I'm doing something. You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go back out there, bro. Go. You have to go. Go.
I won't be in a video.
No, you gotta go, bro.
I can't listen.
No, you need to go. Get out the room. Go now, please, and shut the door. But no,
The crash.
Yeah, they didn't even
But
have. They didn't have Charbonnet.
don't they got Michigan's running back too?
Penny. That's the
I
second
thought they
leading
had.
rusher. Oh, this is 22. Never mind. How the fuck did I get to 2022? I was about to say. I was like, this don't even make. What I'm looking at makes no sense. That's what I was like. Hold on, Gino
Yeah,
led
please,
the
because
team in rushing. What the fuck?
didn't they have? I thought they third back was
Charbonnet, yeah. Charbonnet
who's they
had
third back?
third back would be Kenny McIntosh from Georgia.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
No. So yeah, they need to go ahead and sign Kenneth Walker back,
to get him back
and then
as fast as you can.
I mean Charbonnet didn't, and he didn't do bad when Kenneth Walker was out though.
No,
So that's probably what they thinking. Like,
but you
let's go
just pay
into
him. You know, he hasn't deserved like a top tier contract. So just give
who, right?
Kenneth
Like
Walker.
he
just give him the contract
yeah.
he deserves at
It
7,
ain't
8 million. Like,
right.
what are we talking about?
The fact that I hope he ain't running around here thinking he's about to get Saquon and Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry money. Like, bro, like, no, you need to go a tier
definitely not getting
under,
that. Yeah.
and you can give him somewhere like I said, like I think max would be 345, but I think they could swing maybe 3 for 40. Give him what about? I say about 12 million. Give him 8 to 12 million, like you said.
I'm trying to look and see the running back contracts.
Saquon just broke. Then he just break the record when
Yeah, I
he
know.
just got his for 20 million a year. I thought.
It's definitely Saquon and Christian McCaffrey.
I keep forgetting McCaffrey even playing still.
Damn, why is this shit so difficult to fucking go through? But yeah, it's like I think right there, 1,000-yard rusher, like you're getting under 10 million probably, or right at 10.
Right.
I would imagine. Cause why the fuck? Yeah, I'm not paying you fucking astronomical money, bro. Like you barely get 1,000 yards. That's 60 yards a game. Like that's not crazy. But yeah, just sign it. That shit's so silly.
Yeah, I don't. I right now. I mean, unless they think they can go draft somebody, but that means they have four running backs. They'll probably end up getting rid of McIntyre then, and then keeping 3, letting Kenneth Walker walk and start with Charbonnet. But
All
that'd
right,
be
I got it. So Saquon is 20, Christian McCaffrey 19, Jonathan Taylor 14, Alvin Kamara 12, Josh Jacobs 12, Aaron Jones 10, Joe Mixon 9, James Conner
See,
9,
he's
David
right. He's
Montgomery
right there.
9,
He
Ramondre
right there in
Stevenson
that.
9. Yeah,
I say give him 11.
nah, nah. Because if you give him 11, now we saying he's he's one of the top 5 running backs basically. No, he's
I mean,
somewhere around. He's around. Yeah, like he's around. I guess 10, 11, I guess because he's young.
yeah, I say it's like
Yeah,
Joe. I'm gonna say Joe Mixon. What has he done since leaving Cincy? And he got what 9? You said
yeah. But it's like James Conner, David Montgomery. You not.
James Conner ain't did shit in the last 2 years either. The last 2 years, I'm sure Kenneth Walker's last 2 years is probably next to James Conner. What has James Conner done? I mean,
1,108, 1,007, and 707. So he's had more.
so,
He's had more production in less games than Kenneth Walker. So yeah, you right there, bro. You take 8, take 8 or 9, and it's cool. And then
I don't know. I think he's done more for Seahawks than because James Conner in Arizona, nobody checks for that.
that's
Like
true.
he was a big name, but now it's just like think if you was to put both of them out in the free agency, I think they both would sign for the same. Like you said, the same thing. I
Now
think they're the same
Kenneth
one.
Walker would get more because he's 24 and James Conner's 30. So we talking about.
Mm,
This is James Conner at the end of this deal also. So
right,
it gets a little weird. Like you're getting the biggest numbers of the contract because you're at the end.
right.
So it does get a little awkward. But yeah, you're somewhere around there. Like
Now James Conner when he was 24 is different.
yeah, he's better than Najee Harris and Jalen Warren.
Yeah. Well, yes.
So
How much?
Bijan
Yeah.
Robinson's on a rookie contract. That's $5 million. He's better than
Yeah.
Tony Pollard.
Yes.
Is he better than? He's better than DeAndre Swift. Now, see where I
Yeah.
start having a problem is like Chuba Hubbard and David Montgomery, where it's like, you're right there, 8-9 million, yeah. So just that's silly. Just pay. But the Seahawks are a weird fucking team anyway. The fact they traded Geno away is weird. Also, the fact that the Raiders,
It's like they want to rebuild, but not rebuild.
why did the Raiders give up draft picks to get 35-year-old Geno is also weird. That's a weird. I don't really understand that.
Because do they go get the quarterback in the draft that plays just like Geno?
I mean, yeah, fuck. What did they trade Geno for? Or did he? No, he signed. I'm thinking of DK. No, they did trade him. They did trade
No,
Geno.
they traded Geno for
a third round pick. So you got a third, a second, and a sixth, and a seventh for Geno and DK. So you basically got half of a draft for Geno and DK. You can't be too mad at that, I guess. If you're just, it's a rebuild.
So they got another rebuild, right? But they got another second.
No, they got a third.
Well, I'm just saying a second for this year, or is that second for?
These are all for this year. They're all 2025.
Okay.
So a second, third, sixth, and seventh.
So they got basically 2 seconds now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, this receiver draft they might can go O-line and snag them on a receiver in a second.
True. Yeah. I mean, there's always solid receivers.
Because if it's the Raiders second, it's a pretty high second draft pick.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, because that second round pick is from Geno. It's from DK. So the second round pick is low.
It's the Steelers.
Yeah, so it's low. But the third round pick, you can still get pretty decent,
right?
Like skill players in the third round. Well, yeah, the Raiders. I see a lot of people kind of like getting into what the Raiders have been doing, and
I'm more intrigued on what the Broncos been doing.
The Broncos
than the Raiders.
We're doing this again, man. We're doing it again. Chiefs haven't done anything. Everybody loves the Broncos. Nobody knows quite what the Chargers are doing.
But the thing about it is that I'm glad we said this, so we can go to the Chiefs topic. The Chiefs do what the Chiefs do every year.
Nothing.
We've never been a hot. We go get draft picks for players we don't want to trade. I mean, we don't want to sign, and we re-sign players that we need to sustain to be in the Chiefs dynasty.
But
Nick Bolton was very high on our draft. No, that Nick Bolton re-sign was probably the most important.
I just mean this year feels
because the way we're
not getting anything. Like Jalen Moore is a big, giant question mark. So the one signing that was like, look, we did something was like, nobody knows if he's going to be good or if he might be
Right.
the worst offensive lineman we have.
But right. But I get that. But I mean, they went and got him 2 years, 30 million based off potential. And at this point, there's like, we tried drafting, we can't develop, so let's go see if we got a dude who played in a good system behind a good left tackle, see if we can bring him over and he could just start for us. I get where they're going with it because we haven't drafted O-line well. So
Yeah.
let's address it another way and then use a draft pick for something else. And if he don't do good, we got 2 other O-linemen under him that we drafted already that needs to play. Like,
Yeah. But we
so
don't know if they can play tackle. That's the scary part.
right, but we need to exert some of this energy somewhere else. We have to do, if it's free agency for the O line. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. That's why I said, like, I think the Chiefs made the Chiefs moves like under the radar strategic moves like we always do. Like, it ain't never high flashing, splashy moves. We don't do that.
This year is so much worse to me. Like the sign. What are the signings? Elijah Mitchell, Jalen Moore. We re-signed Nick Bolton. We brought back Kareem
Right.
Hunt. We signed Gardner Minshew and Jerry Tillery. Hollywood
Right.
re-signed.
So
we re-signed Trey
we just
Smith.
re-signed.
Yeah, it's just like,
It's like, they basically
just
saying
not
we're
doing
gonna run
that.
it back with next year's team minus a few other pieces and see if we can get some stuff in the draft.
It's just rely on the
means-
draft.
I think,
I guess, but I mean,
what we,
do we gotta go? I don't want to have to go through Veach stuff again, but
no, shit, just hit. How about you? We just need to hit on another safety. I don't care what his hit percentage
but the
is.
problem is, if we just be honest, Veach has had 2 good drafts in 7 years. If we really being
Yeah,
if we
but
really breaking
those
it
two
down,
good those two drafts that he hit on was part of the reason we can say we a dynasty.
that's true. But we also can look back and say the team is a little wonky because you missed at some spots that were really important at the time.
Well, I don't want to look at the negative when the positive is 4 Super Bowls appearances, 5 Super Bowl appearances, because it's just like it could have went worse.
True.
We seen teams hit on draft picks, but they just still don't do shit. Like,
That's true.
That's true. So, I mean, yeah, his draft history, if you really look back at it, isn't the best for GMs. Like, it ain't like the Eagles draft. How he's doing over with the Eagles
year after year, yeah.
Right, but still, year after year, they only been at 2 Super Bowls.
That's still a lot.
I mean, yeah,
that's
but I'm
better
just saying,
than
like,
most other teams, yeah. But it's like,
right,
I'm trying to think.
I mean,
so,
like, look at Detroit. Detroit's been hitting the last couple of years,
true.
and look who,
and they've been sprouting up, yeah. But it's like, you have a draft like if you just look back, I guess it's not bad. You know, so you get Xavier Worthy last year, cool. FAU ain't been playing, but you get Rasheed Rice. But then you draft Wanye. Nobody else in that draft, in the 2023 draft, did anything really. The 2022 is the one. Trent McDuffie, Carl Loftus, Brian Cook, Leo Chenal, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, fucking Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Johnson. That whole draft is crazy outside of Darian Kennard and Sky Moore, who somehow is still on the team.
And that draft was really the
the year before that is also the other one where it's Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Noah Gray, Trey Smith.
Right. So back-to-back good year drafts led us to a three-peat.
Yeah.
Well, a potential three-peat and lost in Super Bowl. But
if you go back, Veach is from 2018. So 2018, the big draft is Derek Nottie. Then after that, your big piece is McCole Hardman.
I think 28. So you go to 2018.
Yeah.
When did Veach become a GM? I forget.
It was the year after Pat got drafted, so it had to be the 2018 draft.
So he inherited that GM's whole thing. Like his first draft.
Fair.
What was his first draft?
2019. If you want to count the whole next, so you have a whole cycle, a full year.
So I would say 2019 because he inherited a lot of Patrick Mahomes wasn't him. No, I'm just saying that was his first draft.
Yeah.
I mean, 2019 would have been
McCole Hardman, Juwan Thornhill, Colin Saunders, Rashad Fenton, Darwin Thompson, and Nick Allegretti. That's bad.
I mean, yeah, it was bad, but I think 4 or 5 of those people in that draft stayed and became real good rotational pieces for us.
Yeah, yeah, but
They became
like,
Fenton. Rashard Fenton came in clutch. He was a headache to watch, but
but see, you're
he
like a
didn't. And
rotational
then he
pieces
got out.
for a year,
No, because
two.
Fenton played for us for a minute, didn't he?
He was here
Algrady was still
for 3 years.
Algrady, so he was part of a Super Bowl. Algrady won a
2021,
Super Bowl.
2020, yeah. But
Uh,
that's like that's you being on the team versus you actually being like a contributing
I think
player
Algrady
is like
did. I feel like he had no choice to start, but I feel like he
Allegretti
started
is
some
is
games.
different because that's like he was a swing lineman for this whole
Right,
time.
but then Thornhill got a pick in the Super Bowl. He played both the Super Bowls, didn't he?
But would
I
you
mean, I didn't
say
really like
the thing
Thornhill
is?
though,
Would you say
but
that's a good draft?
no.
No.
But I'm just saying, like that draft wasn't like a complete bust to where none of them dudes. They all had a moment where they put in a little bit of work to help us get to where we were going.
True.
Like,
But you can say that about
so
every single player then. If we do that, if we go through the drafts and look at it that way, like did you do
well,
anything at
and
all is
Kansas.
different.
Well, the way we use players, you can say it about us, but a lot of players, if they was on other teams, they probably wouldn't have seen the field.
I guess I look
Like
at it like are you at minimum the second string like in the rotation, like defensively you need to be in the rotation.
right.
On
Well, Fenton
offense,
and
you need to
Thornhill
be a
was
starter.
Fenton and Thornhill was in the rotation.
True.
Algrady was in the rotation, but you know how we like to bring in alignments for different packages and stuff. So, and then McCole Harmon definitely was in the rotation. We
Yeah.
we couldn't let go of him at the beginning of his
Yeah.
career. Like, so I mean,
It's all
I
right.
think that it wasn't 2022 draft
No.
or 23, but it was rotational guys.
So
Like
we
that's
talking
that.
about
We talking about second string. That was a draft full of second stringers.
so let's go. So last year, right?
Right.
Xavier Worthy is basically the only one that played meaningful snaps. Would we agree on that? Sua
Uh,
Matea, Jared Wiley, Jaden Hicks, Hunter Norzad, Kamal Haddon, C.J. Hansen.
no, Hicks. I say meaningful minutes too.
Okay, so we'll
The
say
safety.
2 out of 7.
He
That
had no
draft is
choice
not
to
great.
come in at some.
So
Yeah,
then
no.
the draft.
Yeah.
Let's go to the draft
That
before
draft
that.
was bad.
So
That draft was bad.
FAU,
I think I would take that 19 draft over that draft.
Yeah,
as
for
of right
sure.
now.
Yeah, FAU, Rasheed Rice, Wanye, Shamari Connor, B.J. Thompson, Keandre Coburn, Nick Jones. It's Rasheed Rice, Shamari Connor. FAU is to me still a question mark.
Still right. Yeah, he's
Like,
still
you started at the end of this season. You started getting snaps. Like that
right.
was my whole thing. Was like, hey, it's been 2 years and he doesn't play at all. Like he was the first pick. He was the first
pick.
round pick.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like okay.
I hope they didn't do that because we was in Kansas City because they didn't have to draft him. Like they
No,
could have
that was a
waited.
waste,
We would have
yeah.
been hype. He got drafted by the Chiefs in the 3rd, 4th round. Like, come on now. Like,
So if we say you had 6 drafts, we're saying
3 half.
2. I guess
I
half.
would say
yeah.
3 and 3.
Half,
Like
yeah.
if we saying the last one was bad, I can't put the first one 19 in the bad category.
That's
then.
fair. It's okay. It's kind of like 2020.
Right.
My complaint is Clyde. First round.
I didn't want Clyde first round.
But you also got.
I was screaming DeAndre Swift the whole at the computer. I was like, please, DeAndre Swift. He fits our offense,
Yep.
everything. And they went and got fucking Clyde. I don't know what the hell they saw, what
But-
Patrick Mahomes saw working out with that man.
To your point, you got Willie Gay Jr. and L'Jarius Sneed in that draft also. So it's
Right.
2 out of 7 picks actually play at all or contribute.
Wow. Was real big contributors.
Yeah, but I mean that over. Oh, my
But who
point.
else was in that? Wasn't that the draft that we didn't really have that many picks?
No, we had. How many picks is this?
What year was that? You said again? 20?
2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had all but the 6th round pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who all was in that draft?
Clyde, Willie Gay Jr., Lucas Niang, L'Jarius Sneed, Mike Dana, and Mike Dana counts. I gotta count Mike Dana.
Yeah, I would say Dana.
Vicarious Keys.
you gotta count Niang too, though.
Yeah, I guess.
You
Yeah,
gotta count
yeah.
Niang.
Back being like a serviceable back. I almost said good, but it's like nah, a serviceable backup. Yeah,
He came in clutch some back in the
here
day.
and there. Yeah, he did. Yeah, there was times that he came in. I agree. Yeah, but it's just I think the problem is you
So
see
I would say, okay, no,
you
you go.
see other teams at least make a move that makes sense to you where you're like, okay, that was something that addressed a need, so we go into the draft and we not looking like fuck, what are we gonna do? The Chiefs did that signing
What?
Jalen Moore, but Jalen Moore has started 4 games his entire career.
Okay, so
So that's like you might as well have you just have NFL tape on him, but is he that don't mean anything.
but my thing is
Oh,
just
he's played
like
more games than that.
I like how the Chiefs move with no
He's 27.
with with the way they move is like with you see how everybody else moves. It seems like they're moving with urgency and like with some type of fear behind it. We move, we just cool. It's just like I look
Yeah.
at it different. It's like everybody makes sporadic moves because they're scared. I feel like so they're making these moves based off what, like
But
trying to get somewhere we've been before. We're not pressed to do nothing because we know what it takes and we know what our quarterback needs and don't need to be in order to get there. Like look at Cincinnati. You really pressed like that to pay that much money?
yeah, hold on real quick. Jesus Christ. Go. Get out of here. Damn dog bust the door open. I saw you. What the fuck? Oh fuck, my bad. What'd you say?
No, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like a lot of teams move like they're being pressed, and we move like, because at the end of the day, as much as everybody say the Chiefs ain't fear no more X, Y, and Z, I think everybody's still moving, making these free agency moves in X, Y, and Z to chase the Chiefs.
Yeah. But
Like, because
okay,
until we stop going to the Super Bowl, the AFC still has to move and chase us. It don't matter what
that's
they're
true.
still building rosters to beat us regardless.
So
Like,
there's 2 questions I have based on because I understand what you're saying, but there does become a point like with the Patriots where somebody like Tom Brady looks up and says, "Hey, you guys didn't build shit around me," and you have he had the realization. The Patriots fans had the realization once Brady left of, "Oh shit, our team has nothing," and I worry
right.
about the Chiefs trending. I feel like we're trending that way when you look. The
Yeah,
offensive line is the
I see.
highest paid
It's
offensive line that there is in the NFL right now at over or at 100 million. That's what the cap hit for all of the offensive line is going to be. Do you feel good about that, knowing that the starters are Jalen Moore, Kingsley Suamatea, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Juwan Taylor? That doesn't sound like, oh, this is the highest paid offensive line in the NFL. So that's where you get in this weird place. Or the other question I was going to ask you was interior offensive linemen. Can you name me two names that are interior offensive linemen that are not named Chris Jones?
interior D lineman.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you
I might
said
have
O
said
lineman.
offensive, but can you
Yeah, I'm
name
like,
two interior defensive linemen that are not named Chris Jones on the roster at all right
no,
now?
we just got rid of Wharton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not rid of him. He just
Nadi's
resigned.
gone. Tershawn
Not
Wharton's
not he's
gone.
gone.
Mike
Sean
Pinella's
Wharton
gone.
gone. Yeah. No, we definitely addressing that in the draft.
We signed Jerry
Like,
Tillery, and we have Fabian Lovett, Marlon Tuipulotu, and
no, we're definitely
Siaki
getting.
Aka.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go interior D lineman in the first round.
Yeah, I mean,
We got to bring some.
you
We
need
got to pair
two.
Chris.
You need
Yeah,
two. Honestly, like you need two guys. And then, do you feel
but I
comfortable
mean,
with
but
Malik Herring and FAU and Mike Dana being all your defensive ends? Besides, it's the same shit. Like there's
Karlaftis.
these positions that we just cannot address. No matter, it's 7 years and you have not addressed it well. Defensive line, offensive line are just like big giant red flags for the Chiefs, and they just can't fix it. It's weird. That's why just
Yeah,
the drafts bother me, because when you waste draft picks on people like Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and you do shit like there's certain pick like
yeah,
you
but
do
I
the
mean,
FAU pick, and you're like, oh, is that? A guy with a mid-second round grade, we're taking in the first
Yeah,
round.
I wouldn't have drafted him first either. But I mean, that's the draft. I mean, that's why you draft. I mean,
Yeah.
but if I wouldn't trade the last 7 years for a good drafts.
No, but
Like,
I mean, the good drafts
like
will sustain. We've seen it with 2023. A good draft pushed us into a dynasty.
right.
So you have to be able to do that, I guess. If you're not gonna do like really any signings, like this year,
If you're
you
not
gotta
gonna
hit this
sign,
draft.
you gotta hit the draft.
You
Right.
absolutely have to hit this next draft now, or the team in certain spots will be a straight up negative. You thought
But
we
the thing
couldn't
about
stop the
it
run
is,
before. What do we do with all of the interior defensive linemen are gone? Like, you know what I mean?
right.
Like all the guys that we were like, man, these guys aren't stopping the run very well. We downgraded, like in at that position. Oh, the offensive line was bad. Okay, we got rid of the perennial not all star, but not. I guess he's not all pro, but Pro Bowl
Right.
guard.
Joe Tooney,
This all time guard, and we swapping him out for
5-time Super Bowl
Sua
champ.
Matea and Jalen Moore. And that's what we finna rock with and pay them the highest because of Creed and Trey Smith. But it's just like
Right.
there's these
Well,
weird
we gotta
pockets
pay.
of
Yeah,
shit.
we got.
Running back,
because
do
we
you
gotta
feel
pay.
good about running back right
No,
now?
not at all.
No. It's like
I don't know. Isaiah Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, and Kareem Hunt.
yeah,
I
Carson
don't
Steele.
like.
And then people are like, you guys are going to take Cam Scatterbo. Okay, Cam Scatterbo might have ran a 5.1.
He's the same as all the running backs that we got. They all do
Yeah.
the same thing.
That's what I told
Like,
somebody. I was like, I don't want Cam Scatterbo. Like, what's the difference between
No.
Cam Scatterbo and Carson Steele? Is that they had one had a better
What's the
college career.
What's the difference between Scatterbo and Kareem Hunt? I
Kareem
guess
Hunt right now at 30.
right.
You know what
I
mean?
guess Scatterbo could be what Kareem Hunt was his rookie year.
No way.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's what they think.
He
You know,
didn't
Kareem
run
rookie.
a 40 because he was scared he was going to run under 4.7.
Well, yes, he looked like he runs
Yeah.
that slow. We've seen him play, but Kareem Hunt
You
rookie,
definitely
nobody knew
seen him
Kareem
play.
Hunt. Yeah. We won that fucking game. I don't care, but Kareem Hunt, nobody knew what he was gonna do from Toledo.
True. That's why if you can get, I wouldn't be mad at if the defense is, if we're gonna hit the brakes on some defensive stuff and we're not gonna take an offensive lineman, I would not be mad at taking a running back or trading down into the early second round to take a running back.
Right, I mean, we got the 31st pick. We can definitely
That's what I mean.
trade down,
just trade back a couple picks into the early second round and just take whatever good running back pops up instead of taking another edge rusher,
that'll give us what, two second rounds and get a defensive. We got to get an interior D lineman.
You have to, but it's
I was saying I like one of those Ohio State running backs. I say don't get a running back to like the third or something, and sneaky Judkins for Ohio State. Like
that's
because they saying he was third round grade. So
that shit's crazy. The running back shit is so crazy right now.
I mean, I don't really like where we at it because I haven't seen too much of this Wiley kid. But I mean, tight end. What do we do with?
I don't know. To me, what
it can't
seen
be
from
Blake
Wiley
Bell,
was,
right? I mean, not Blake Bell, Noah Gray.
I hope that they're doing something with not Noah Gray, with Wiley, because we released every other tight end we have. So right now, the only tight end
they signed him to a sneaky extension without playing too.
It's just Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Jared Wiley, and somebody named Anthony Fursker. I've never heard of this man my entire life, and he's 30. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is Anthony Fursker?
Bro, I have no fucking idea.
Exactly. So it's I would hope that he actually plays now. But it's tight end.
Maybe special teams. He's probably gonna have a few tackles this year.
It's if you don't believe in him, oh great. Anthony Fursker was a fullback for the Titans until 2023, and then he became a tight end, and he literally has no stats from there on out.
He's what is he? A practice squad guy?
Maybe special teams guy. I would assume. Yeah,
A guy making six figures and not playing. Cool life, bro.
yeah. Like when I look at this Jared Wiley shit, and I think he has one catch for 7 yards the entire season. Like that's
Yeah.
come on, man. That's it. And I think he only played in like 5 games, 6 games. But it's like, yeah, what are we doing? Like, so then it's like, is he? So that's one of those like, did he whiff? Is he bad? We don't know if he bad. You
No,
won't
because
play
they
him,
they gave him an extension.
which
That's what
also
I'm
doesn't
saying.
make sense. How did why like this just stuff going on with the Chiefs where it just makes you think, what are you guys doing? And it just works. And I wonder, does it work because they know what they're doing, or does it work because you have the greatest quarterback of all time? That's the real question. Is Veach and Andy Reid, are they geniuses who know exactly what they're doing, or is it all
Well,
held together by the greatest
I
glue that
think
has ever existed?
the thing that's different between Andy Reid, the always with Andy Reid and the Bill Belichick argument for me was they both had careers without their star quarterbacks.
True.
And I always thought Andy Reid, everybody always thought he was a genius at what he did with the Eagles. And then, I
Yeah.
mean, and then what he did with Alex Smith. So, I mean, I think just pairing him with Patrick Mahomes, who was going to be, who was, it just, it always dawns on me. It's just like, well, would have Patrick Mahomes been this great with, and then you name a quarterback like with Sean Payton? Would he have been this great on the Sean Payton system? Uh, or is it
Probably.
because of the Andy Reid? I don't know. Like, would he have been great if he got drafted by the Browns? I don't
Yeah, I don't know. It
see. That's what I'm
depends.
saying. Right. So I just think it was just like a perfect match. Like, so he just turns out to be one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
That's
So,
why, yeah. But I think the thing is, like, you could look back and
but
look at Andy Reid's in the past. Like, it's kind of some of the same shit. Like,
right. But in
no
the
running
Andy Reid,
game, weird offensive lines, weird defenses, and
but
then the
made it to
offense.
the AS,
Yeah,
made it to
because
NFC championships with
any
the
quarterback you play,
quarterbacks he had.
exactly.
So, so if you was to growing up watching football, we seen Andy Reid with the Eagles and stuff. If you was back in the day, and you went back and told yourself, your younger self, Andy Reid is going to have one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history when you get older. And you telling your younger self that, you probably going to say that he's going to win a couple Super Bowls. Like, because that's basically all he needed
Yeah,
was one of those tier one quarterbacks, and then
true.
he was going to be on that next level as a coach. So
Yeah, but you can say that about a lot of people. Like, perfect example, you used
no,
Sean Payton. Sean Payton had the guy. He was great. They won the Super Bowl. He didn't have a guy, and he was out of the league.
right? But Andy Reid was doing it consistently with other different quarterbacks,
True.
though. He so that's the thing about it. Is
But
like Michael
also,
Vick, McNabb,
but Andy
Alex
Reid
Smith,
also
like
had like a lot of weird shit going on too. Like there was a lot of weird shit with the Eagles.
as
To
for
weird drafts that didn't make sense. They had the fucking when they signed everybody and then they fucking missed the playoffs or whatever. They had that year where I
so
think
we
it was
need to
one of
put
the
more
Michael Vick
respect on this.
years.
So we need to put more respect on this man's coaching. Then, if he went all these years with weird drafts and somehow it's
No, no,
relevant
no, no. But
every.
no, but no, no. But here's no. You right. Also, those years were the years that led him to getting fired, though. Like those were the last 3-4 years where shit got weird. The drafts got bad. They started making weird, going out signing big guys, and then the season.
But
It was
also,
Vince
what
Young.
got
It was
him?
Vince Young. Remember when they signed Vince
But
Young?
yeah, but
They went and did that shit and it
what
failed.
also got him fired is we went 12 years with you being our coach, and we was here. And we don't think you can get us over that hump. We need somebody else.
I
And
wonder
then,
if Andy Reid might just be like that though, and we're hitting year 13. You know what I mean? We hitting year 13, and it could be just one of those like it ain't
but I
working
think
the same way as it did.
I think his job is secure now because
Of
of the Super
course,
Bowls.
yeah, it's way different than it was.
So
But
it's different
that's
with
a problem if you get complacent in this way and you're starting to get there a little bit, and you got Super Bowls, and it's kind of like, all right, guys, like we're back into having weird drafts and not running the ball and all that stuff pops back up. But
I really do think.
I'm nitpicking though, obviously.
Well, I mean that's obviously we have to when you go to
Yes, they just went. They were
when
just in the
we
Super Bowl.
right
They
like
got smacked, but
what are we? I mean, when it's like what's a good example? When you start nitpicking when everybody's doing good, so just like I gotta make a choice on who's doing the worst, so you start nitpicking. It's basically like who gets the last seed. Okay, well the tiebreaker is tied, then that's tied, then that's tied. So,
well, I just worry
but
that not the downfall, like they'll just completely fall off, but I think the downward slope of the dynasty is going to be based on these weird ass off seasons, and
but
we might
also
look
but
up in
people
2 years and be like, "Damn, we whiffed on a draft, didn't sign anybody, and
and
had
that's
a weird year, and all of a sudden we've had 3 weird years in a row," and you're like, "What the fuck just
but and
happened?"
if anybody can go through a retype rebuild year, it's the Chiefs. Like, don't they
Yeah,
deserve one?
of
Like,
course, yeah.
it's like Lord
That's
have
not what I'm
mercy.
saying though.
So
I'm saying we might look up in 2 years from now and be like, oh, I should say we might look up 5 years from now and be like, damn, we barely made or missed the playoffs for three
okay,
straight years now. What the fuck just happened? We were just in the
okay,
Super Bowl for 10 years straight. Now all of a
right, yeah,
sudden we
but
can't even make the
okay,
playoffs because we had a few weird drafts and some signings that didn't work. Now the contracts are fucked up, and now we just sitting here
oh,
like, oh, we also owe
so
Mahomes $75 million because we keep just pushing the contracts further back. That's a ticking time bomb that's coming down the road. Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes into their contracts are that's 2 years from now.
right, but okay. So the thing about it is this the team that we are on trajectory with is the Patriots. Same identical first 7 years. They looked up, and 10 years later, they didn't make it to back
Yeah,
to the Super Bowl.
yeah, of course. That's
So I
what I
mean,
mean.
what?
But that could
And
be
that's why
sooner. That's my worry is that could be 2 or 3 years from now. We start seeing, oh shit, they didn't make the AFC Championship game. Oh shit, they didn't make the playoffs. Oh shit, they're below 500, and you're like, how did we even get here? And like you said, 10 years they didn't make the playoffs, or they made the playoffs, but they didn't win a Super Bowl. And then Brady
right.
had the end of his career jump and all that. But like, I get what you're saying. You're saying that's okay with me because they've won. They did the thing. We had a dynasty we got to watch. Most teams won't even get a Super Bowl, get to
Right.
a Super Bowl, and let alone have this run. But
So that
you
was six,
won't be. You definitely will not be saying that if 5 years from now they haven't made the playoffs for 3 of those 5 years. You won't. It won't. It ain't gonna feel like how you feel now. You gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? We
I
have
mean, yeah,
Patrick
in 5 years,
Mahomes. Like you ain't gonna be
right?
like, oh
Well, yeah, in
in
5 years that could change, but
2025 we still were pretty good. You ain't gonna care then, and that's how I look at it now. It's like, okay, I can see where this starts going sideways because you just miss on 2 drafts.
well, I mean, 2 years in about 3 years, we won't have Chris Jones or Travis on the team.
Yeah,
So we know next year Travis won't be here. Let's
well,
start
yeah,
up there, and then Chris Jones is probably 2 years after him. He's retiring,
yeah. And
and then
if you whiff on the next two
that's
drafts,
why
we
these
could.
next right. That's why these next couple drafts is very important for the the future
Mm-hmm.
of the Chiefs' kingdom. How about that?
Yeah, and
So
that's my only point is that like, hey, Veach, you're 50-50. But if that fifty
just
fifty is 2 bad ones the next 2 years and then 2 good ones after that, you might be staring down the barrel of 5 years of just it's just not the same. And that's like you're saying, that is okay, but it also means you're back to whatever when you could have avoided this just having good drafts. But I'm nitpicking. Let's go to a team that's fucking nobody knows. We could be this. This is the scary part for me. We could be the Bengals, where shit gets squirrely and you have no idea, like, nobody knows what's going on because they're just scrambling to try to fucking make sure the team doesn't explode, essentially.
To make everybody happy.
That's
They're
not,
just trying
yeah,
to
you
make
can't.
everybody happy and at the same time keep the fans happy. But I think the fans want defense.
The team, they want to
I've seen
win.
some fans. Yeah, I've seen some fans like, yeah, we signed Higgins, Chase, and it's just like, do y'all not know what now? Y'all had no defense last year. Y'all best defender is demanding $40 million a year. Y'all gonna drop another 40 on somebody else? We really about to do this?
Yeah.
And four of your guys are gonna come in 45% of the salary cap?
Something like that.
Ah,
Let me look, man. AFC North. So just this year, 46, 26, 21. So like the Chiefs are spending $100 million on their offensive line. The Bengals are spending $100 million on
those
three
three people.
people. Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
All right.
But that's what I mean is that you like. We could look up. I don't want to look up 5 years from now and be like, "Fuck, we the Bengals now," and we just scrambling to do shit. Andy Reid is gone, Travis Kelce gone, Chris Jones gone, all these people gone. We got Trent McDuffie and fucking Mahomes, and we going 9-8 and barely squeaking into the playoffs and losing to fucking the Texans or something. You know what I mean? Like, and you just like, damn, what happened? Look at the Bengals. The Bengals was in the Super Bowl. They thought they was going to be the next great team. And you look up, and they just have not done anything for 4 years. They just been 9-8.
But they're ran horribly though.
True.
Like
that's the big difference. Yeah, whiffing in the draft and being run horribly is like you can't do both. You got to pick. You got to have.
And being cheap at the same time.
You're
it's
being
just like,
cheap. You're whiffing in the draft. You fucking mismanaging your contracts. Like if you go through, they still got like think about this. Like Trey Hendrickson, Orlando Brown Jr., B.J. Hill, Geno Stone. They just got him. Joseph Tsai still there. Cam Taylor-Britt been pretty good. Like they just have. They've signed Samaje Perine. Like I'm looking through. You look through the roster. It's pretty like. What the fuck is this? Like, what is this team? Like, who are y'all? It's just Joe Burrow. It's just Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase.
That's what they said, okay, well, we ain't gonna win, but we gonna make sure y'all love watching us play.
And people gotta stop doing this shit. Well, if they can get into games, they scared the Chiefs.
Right, yeah.
And you know who else they scared? The Ravens, who basically go to a one-score game with them every year, no matter what the record is.
Well, all they did was
or the Bills, who they spank pretty much every time they play. I don't know, but the Chiefs are scared of the Bengals.
Can we say this?
Beat the fucking Patriots.
The Ravens and the Bengals are just total opposites of each other. We already know, okay, the Bengals doubled down on throwing the ball this year. So if you want to put money on Joe Burrow throwing for 5,000 yards, it's probably going to happen because they're going to throw the ball about 50 times a game.
Yeah.
And the Ravens are just the runners of the league. Like, they run. They double down on running when they got Derrick Henry. Like, so I still don't know how they get receivers to go there, though. Like, it just blows my mind how D-Hop really think he's about to get any type of clock or targets.
Well, because
they gotta go.
Yeah, you ain't going to get the ball, nigga. You're just going to get the ball couple 3-4 times a game.
I'm going under on all his shit next year.
It depends on how low it is. They might
1.5 catches.
Yeah, they might keep him low the whole time.
Because you got to think. That's what I was thinking. D-Hop, you got to think. They number one receiving target when they do throw the ball is Zay when he come back.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Likely and Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the fourth target. That's if they don't got Justice Hill coming out the backfield.
Yeah,
And then they went and paid him like some crazy amount of money too, didn't they? I'm just like, they paid him that much? Maybe I was tripping.
It's a lot of like what you were saying. People chasing behind the Chiefs. Why like D-Hop? Really? Let's see.
Yeah, I thought they signed him to a 1
No,
year
1 year,
maybe.
$6 million. So it's not crazy.
Okay,
That's
who was
pretty.
I thinking of that signed a? I'm like that. He signed that deal. Maybe I was.
It's crazy that not a lot of wide receivers got like contracts.
Then I mean, they market is about to get
Like the
T.
free
Higgins only
agents.
got what third
Oh,
20, 29,
I would
30?
before we get too far away from our Chiefs conversation. There's also something bad that happened, very bad for us. DJ Stingley got 30 million a year.
Oh yeah. So McDuffie. So McDuffie, yeah.
I seen that. I was like, but that's the type of shit I mean. Is like, okay, so how is that gonna work? Are you not gonna be able to sign McDuffie? So then you
They gonna
have
tag his ass next year.
the draft. You gotta go crazy in the draft. Like I hope they're sitting around looking at it, going, we have to
Right.
hit the next two drafts like out of the park, or we could be staring down the barrel of we can only afford to sign. We got the offensive line signed, we have Pat signed, and we get to pick one defensive player. We get to pick Karlaftis or McDuffie, and then after that, we're just going to be rotating in young guys.
Well, like I said, one's gonna get signed, one's gonna get tagged.
But you can only tag do for what, 2 years? You only give two tags out to somebody,
Right.
and then that's it.
That's what
Now
I'm
you got to
saying.
pay them, or they're gone. Like, yeah, it's the contracts and all this shit is getting to a weird space with the Chiefs, and the can has been getting kicked down the road. And it's just scary to see. It's scary to see the Saints. It's scary to see the Cowboys. You know what I mean? It's scary to see the 49ers, who basically just
Gave up their whole
released
roster.
half their team and made nothing, just didn't make sign. Like,
I bet they backups like, whoa, I might start this year.
yeah. Like, I feel bad about the Chiefs shit, but it's like we could be where the 49ers are in a couple years. That's the scariest thing to me, where it's like, all right, we can't afford to do shit because we got Pat's contract has been getting pushed back for 5 straight years now. Like, so Chris Jones' money has also been getting pushed back, so we might owe him $50 million one of
we're gonna
these
be paying
years.
we're gonna be paying Pat when he retires.
Yeah, like,
He might as well just do the Shoni Otani contract and defer everything until after he retires and shit like that.
yeah. But you got to think the way his contract is set up is every year that he starts. So like when this league year started, his contract next year gets guaranteed, becomes guaranteed money. So he already but what they keep doing is taking money out of the year. So instead of they're taking money out of 2027 and pushing it back to
Right.
2029, and they just have been doing that. And so they basically just they're keeping his contract around 40 million, but he has some years in there where it's over 60 now,
Right.
which is like eventually you have to pay that. But we'll get off the Chiefs. I don't want to keep doing that. That shit is scary. Like, look at the 49ers right now. Their team is
I mean,
decimated,
they
bro.
still ain't even signed their quarterback yet.
Or the Bengals go back to that. Like, look what they doing. Like, you don't have nobody. You don't have nobody on the team. Now you have to hit
I don't
every
see where
draft out
they
the
why.
park.
I don't see how y'all got forced in. They should just traded T. Higgins. I would have signed and traded, tagged and trade.
Oh, here, this is one. Patrick Mahomes in 2026, his cap number is $78 million. That's a third of the fucking. The salary cap is 250.
Mm-hmm.
So he himself is taking up a third unless they push it back. That's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna keep. Eventually, like you said, he's gonna retire, and y'all gonna owe that man 150. You gonna owe him $200 million in just void
Mm-hmm.
money. But, that sucks. Let's see. What else have we got? NCAA tournament talk. We in the mix now, so it's tough to talk about it. I'm worried.
I mean, KU is.
Yeah, we down 10. Like, it's not great.
I mean, Tennessee winning now. Auburn won. I mean, the biggest one right now bracket buster, McNeese
McNeese beating
beating
Clemson.
Clemson.
That was crazy.
That fucked everybody else's bracket up.
And they ain't just beating, they blew
So
them out, didn't they? I didn't see the
yeah,
whole thing,
they
but
put it on them.
I just was like, all right, you guys are getting the fuck beat out of
But
you.
after watching that game, I guess the head coach is going to NC State, and they say he
Mm.
might take a couple players with him after watching them play. A
That
couple of
makes
those players
sense.
might be
Like,
might
hey,
be playing up there with
we're
him.
out, bro. We don't give a fuck your team.
I'm about to. You know how cool that I was just thinking, like, if I played for like a mid-major D1 school and my coach came in there and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to an NC State," and he's like, and he
Oh,
called me in his
cool.
office like,
Me too.
I'm gonna take you with me."
Yeah,
And be like, "Can you give me an NIL deal too while you at it? Like,
absolutely. Yep.
give me $1 million," and I like, why not?
Yeah. This shit is not college sports anymore, man. Why we gotta keep pretending? Like, this shit is like amateur league. That's what it is now. This ain't the same. I don't know. It's so that part to me is just so weird. Of like, Steph Curry is the GM for Davidson.
Right.
Colleges now not only
Need
have an
GMs.
they need a GM to deal with constructing the team. James Harden is the GM for Arizona State and has contributed, I think it was like $5 million.
Yeah, you know that. You know what it is? It's just like now they're going back to their alma maters and just like not even and just like
you running the
using
team.
Using they name
and they
as,
pockets. Yeah, Nick, I made $500 million in my career. I can give up $5.
Right, but now how many kids is just gonna want to go to Davidson because Stephen Curry's in their house recruiting?
Of course, or not even recruiting them. It's just Steph Curry sent us to come recruit you and give you $500,000 for a year to come play. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah, you on FaceTime with Steph.
Or the simple fact that a lot of
Harden.
these NBA players got their own summer league teams with AAU players and shit. Just like now, my AAU team is nothing but like a form system for my college.
That's what it's gonna be. That's what this shit gonna be. Oh man,
it's just like we're gonna be called the AAU Wildcats, and just like my top players just go play in Arizona.
Yep, just take the AAU team straight to college. That's how it's going. That's what I mean. Is like we're getting. This isn't the same where it's like college is our schools, and that's what you playing for the school and school spirit.
No.
Like all that shit's gone. It is turning into an AAU-ified.
You know who
circuit.
only got school spirit is motherfuckers who graduate from there who take that shit serious. But the players, it's kind of like the players that play for the Chiefs. Just like
that's my job.
They love Kansas City because they play there, but when Kansas City release when they get traded, they love Philadelphia now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like and that's what these kids. It's not. That's why I said we said this already. They need to break it apart. Like there's no longer they should not have to go to school because it's at this point they just need to.
A lot of them
they
don't
play
go to
basketball for Arizona.
Yes,
they don't go to Arizona.
Yeah, not even remotely close. Niggas doing online school, and they got 3 classes. And that shit is the what?
Well, you got to have at least
the
12
meaning
credits.
of the ABCs.
You got to at least be a full-time student. Now, currently, you got to be at least a full-time student to play a sport.
Niggas taking shit. What is You got a class on here called the philosophy of the alphabet. What did that mean?
What
kind of class is that?
So I had a coaching minor, and one of my classes was theory and fundamentals of how to coach baseball.
Yeah, like
it's like, well, I played baseball already, so I know how to coach it. Like this is an easy A class, but it's
like that's what I'm saying. Like you taking they taking the silliest shit, bro. Like, but that's what half of them don't go to class. They were just talking about Cooper Flagg don't go to class. You don't see Cooper Flagg. Like he can't.
Yeah, because a lot of them so famous that they got to do online class. You remember that Livy Dunn, the gymnastic girl, had to change her classes to online because can't go to class with how big of a name you are. Like you think you about to take a world history class, gen eds with 300 other students and everybody know who you are? Like, come on now, like
absolutely not. Damn,
I'm worth millions. I'm worth more than probably everybody combined in this room, not knowing who in the room. I'm just talking shit. Like it could be a senator's daughter in the room. You never know. But still,
down
like
2 right now. Mizzou down 8.
I mean, my status. I wasn't talking shit. I was just speaking facts. But
you got wiped out too. So fuck that. Everybody got.
I sure did. But if you read the comments, I said my team ain't gonna make no run either.
Okay.
So.
What is going on? What is this offense for KU, bro? What is this? What is this? Bill
But
Self, bro. Oh my god. But yeah,
yeah,
you
they just
wanna?
need to. It just needs to
It's over
become
with.
the.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
amateur.
Now if you got NBA players becoming GMs of college teams,
I got an idea. Here's the idea. The idea is we turn the NCAA. It's just like soccer. That's the lower level league. You can get relegated to once we separated from school. You can get relegated to one of these, and so Charlotte Hornets. Hey, guess what? You guys have been top 5 in the draft for 10 years now. Guess where you going? We're trading you out for Duke.
no,
We swapping you out for
no,
fucking Duke.
fuck no,
Get
ain't
out of
no,
here
cause
and
still
bring Duke
they
in.
still gonna have some college players who
Or how about we do this?
don't.
How about we
It's not
take
gonna be NBA
how
players.
about we
Like
take the blue bloods of
no,
NCAA and we separate them into like an in between league, and
no,
that could be
because
the
NIL
relegation
is
league.
no, because NIL is changing the platform where blue bloods ain't even really blue bloods no more.
That's yeah, that's a good point. Just
You got
who got the most
BYU who's
money.
literally about to get the number one. K State literally got a top 5 NIL roster, and look at them.
Yeah,
Like
that's
just
true.
because, and it's about to become a professional sport where just because you pay so much for your roster doesn't mean you're going to be good.
But that's what I mean is like if
Like
it's a pro sport, we also need incentive for the NBA to be better and for people to play and take the game serious and not just actively be okay with losing games because we want to move to the 6th seed instead of be the 4th seed because that's a better matchup for us. No. Or certain shit like I see people trying to say, well, if we make it where all the drafts are the draft chances are the same, so you might as well make the playoffs or you're gonna be getting the same draft. Well, it's like they need to be scared. Charlotte Hornets,
well,
you might get traded out for North Carolina or whoever the fuck right now,
but
whoever in the
but
league
the
right
thing
now
about it is if they get in
for
GMs.
Gonzaga and then you getting switched.
But if they get in GMs at some point, then they need to start implementing like contracts and salary caps or something because you don't want to make it like baseball where
Yeah,
because we see in every pro sport it just goes up every year.
true.
Like we said, BYU's paying the number 1 basketball player next year $7 million to come play at their school, probably for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing? So that means the next number 1 player is like, well, he got 7. I think I'm better than him.
And he's 7.5.
Somebody's gonna have to pay me, right? So now you're gonna get to what 10 years down the line, you're gonna be making $20 million to go play 1 year in college basketball.
Yeah, and then
Like,
then rookie contracts in the NBA gonna be right now they're 15 million if you're the number 1 pick, and then it'll be 35 million, and then the max contract for an NBA player, the Wembanyama contract gonna be 100 million a year. Yeah, that's how this goes.
I mean, they did say Dela Cruz for the Reds that it might be the first $1 billion contract.
That's what I'm saying. This shit is just infinitely expanding,
Where,
but
where
I don't
and then
know how.
everybody's
Like I don't know
because
how.
I mean, TV deals, I guess, but where are the TVs getting all this money from? Are we really watching TV that much?
How are
But the thing
yeah
about it is, everybody don't even know is damn near a big conglomerate with all these networks. That's why it's just
yes
like it's just 3-4 major networks. They
still
all just
yeah.
split up to different
Now it's just
names. Like,
streaming, and
but
they have
half these
more
networks
money.
own these streaming.
But no, that's the point. But
Yeah,
they have
because
more money because they're not splitting it with the FX channel anymore.
right.
So like CBS, NBC, Disney having ESPN and all the Disney channels and all that shit is separated now. It used to be you
Right.
paid $180, whatever, $150 for cable, and they took everybody's $150 and they had to bust it down. And so then you really got your money from advertisement. So
Right.
now you pay whatever it is, $8.99 directly to CBS
Right.
to pay for Paramount Plus so you could watch this Arkansas KU game, so you could watch the NCAA tournament, so you could watch
Right.
Sunday afternoon football every
Yeah,
week.
so you got to think one part like Disney owns ESPN.
Yeah.
So it's just like one person paying $10 a month for Disney. Think about how many people in the world got Disney.
Yeah.
It's just like, but nobody, a TV network doesn't own Disney, right?
Disney owns Disney. Yeah,
Right, yeah. So I'm thinking about CBS. These
CBS.
TV
Yeah,
deals
it's
it's
crazy.
starting to,
It's
yeah.
getting sick. Like
Yeah,
I've
because
been saying it, it's hard to even keep track anymore of
yeah,
what you
because
need
like
and
you,
where
I
what
mean,
is.
like you said, one person paying $10 a month. It's 300 million people in America alone. Like
Like
$10 times
perfect
300
example,
million is just say one
the
person.
NBA on TNT. That's gone.
Right.
What the fuck? Where am I?
You got to
I'm
get
never gonna. How can I? I can't even. You can't stream TNT.
you got
Where
to
do I
get
stream TNT at? You got to get the TNT app. Who the fuck got the TNT app? Like,
nobody.
but it was
League. You got to get
uh
League Pass
no
damn
no
near
no
now.
no HBO Max. It was Max because that's Turner, and Turner is TNT. So the TNT games came on HBO Max.
Right. Okay.
But that's where all this shit is too much, and that's what I mean. Is like we're just paying them directly now. There is no
But even
We
on
used to
Monday,
have to pay Spectrum to get the channels. Now
right?
we've cut all that out, and so they
And
just
because
raking
these
in more
TV that
money.
like
That's where all
yeah,
the.
because
That's why it keeps
these
going up
networks
more.
is saying people don't even watch cable that much anyway.
Mm-mm.
So either pay us this much or we're gonna rip it off. Like YouTube TV, I think is about to rip some more channels off their shit
I'm sure
because of fucking
people
deals. So
taking
it's
their
just
shit back. Yeah,
like like League Pass. The NBA is basically put all their Monday games are on League Pass. You ain't gonna be able to find no Monday games unless you got League
yep.
Pass. And all that money that people get from League Pass is just going right back, salary cap, all that X, Y,
And then
Z.
just like Sunday Ticket, League Pass is what $30 a month, or you can
Right?
pay
Because you got to
$700 for the yearly,
because you got
whatever
to
it is.
think people got League Pass at home. Every bar in America probably got League Pass for like
Mm-hmm.
playoffs and shit like that. So
I bought League Pass for the end of the season. They was like it's $30 for the rest of the season. I was like, well,
I
that's a
gotta
pretty
buy
good
it.
deal. I took that deal immediately. I was like 30
I mean,
bucks.
no, because playoffs come on regular TV still, or do I gotta
Uh,
have League Pass for that? Because I ain't trying to buy it. Ain't
I
no
don't
point. It's
know.
14 games left.
It depends.
I'm not paying $30
I
for
think
14
some
more
of the
games.
series there, if we end up with like Bulls Magic, that's gonna be on League. That's on NBA TV. Some of the series are on NBA TV, and if you don't have NBA TV through cable, you need League Pass.
Oh, I got NBA TV up there, so
And so
yeah, that's
that's where it gets this shit. But think about this. With all this being said that we saying, they're making more money than ever, and that's why these contracts keep going up. That's why people can pay these NIL deals because you have $1 billion boosters, you got advertisement money coming in from the school, and it just keeps going up and up and up.
mm-hmm.
And it makes no sense, but that's where we at. Patrick Mahomes cap number for next year is 78 million fucking dollars, bro. What are we talking about?
That used to be somebody's contract.
A
That still is people's
corner is
contract.
getting paid $30 million a year. Miles Garrett and Max Crosby are making
It's
almost
making
$40 million a year. Yes, a kid in the NIL at some point in the next 5 years is gonna make 10, 15, 20 million dollars
Oh
a
yeah.
year to go play for wherever the fuck.
I wonder who's gonna be the first kid to sign be like, you know what? I signed a 3 year,
I
$25 million
think
contract. I stay here 3 years.
I've been thinking about that too because they keep talking about Cooper Flag is like I might stay at Duke. I like it. I might stay here because I don't want to go to Washington or Utah or
Right.
Charlotte.
If he don't win, I don't know. If he don't win this year, what do you think? He might come back? That'll fuck up the NBA
I don't
draft
think
like
I
a mug
no.
if Cooper Flag don't come out.
The problem is NBA contracts are totally guaranteed. So it's
Right.
not $15 million a year. So if you stay at Duke, you're getting paid on a yearly basis. Say he's making $5 million right now.
Right.
It's every year. If you are the number one pick in the NBA draft, that's $60 million that you're gonna get. You're gonna get half of it up front, and you're guaranteed to make the next 30 over the next 4 years. It's 4 years, 57 or $58 million, and all of that is totally guaranteed. No matter what happens to you, no matter if you twist your ankle off your leg. So I have a hard time believing that he would stay in school because of the vibes.
Right.
Like
You can have vibes being a pro player.
yeah, exactly. The vibes were cool at Duke. Okay, cool. That's
I think if
there's
they,
vibes in
I
fucking
think if
DC
they,
too.
I think if they disconnect the actual NCAA from college and don't make the players go to school, I think they can get them to stay longer.
Oh yeah, but that's why I said at that point it's a semi-pro league. Make that the relegation league. Whether we take those teams and you know what I mean,
No, it's
you
not no
have to.
relegation.
You have
We're not
to.
sending the bad NBA teams
You
to the
no.
college league.
You have to. The reason you have to is because guys, the high school kids get to pick where they want to go. So they're just going to stay in the semi-pro league for 4 years no matter what. Because why wouldn't
Right.
I just stay here? I'm going to stay here as long as I can because I can pick where I want to go. So you have to have some incentive for them to actually leave, and it's simply like you're in the worst league. If it's just you have to be here, you can be here for however long you can stay here for 4 or 5 years, or you can be one and done. You have to incentivize them to go to the NBA, which is there's more money over here, and you're not going to. I guess the other part is you would have to make it where the picks don't always go to the worst teams. But then that's when you get in a weird spot. You get like soccer where it's like they don't really have a draft. You know what I mean? It's like you pick. Eventually, that's what it would have to get to then if we separate it because now it's like I could just stay here and I can call up the next top college kids and say, hey, why don't you guys come here? It's just me at fucking wherever. What's a random SEC school that's like, you know what I mean? Oklahoma right
No.
now. The
Right.
number 5 pick goes to Oklahoma, but he knows the number 3, 14, and 12 for the next year, and then the next year they get you. Eventually, it's just like we're just handing out
No.
money just to stay
I
here. You see what I'm
because what
saying,
about
though?
the kids on the roster that because everybody on the roster doesn't get is not a glamour
Of course,
player on the college. So it's just like what about those players?
you're fucked. This is a pro league now, so if you got to be good,
I,
because we're just gonna because if you're Cooper Flag, right? You don't want to go to Washington, right? You don't want to go to Charlotte. You don't want to go to Utah. Those are the top 3 picks. You don't want to go there. But the money is the difference. If the money in college catches up, if they separate it from NCAA
Yeah,
and it
but
becomes wild,
if
wild
even
west,
if Charlotte, even if you did it and just like the worst NBA team go play in that, they're smacking everybody in those college leagues.
they, yeah,
Do
now,
I want to see Charlotte play Duke? How good Duke is? No, they're getting ran off the fucking court.
yeah, now. I guess it's just weird, bro. What do you do then? The G League? You can't do the G League because the G League is
You have to get
clearly a
rid of the
step
damn
down.
near J League. Right? That's a step down from yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, this is where it gets
shit.
weird, bro. Like, what happens if you do that? If you separate it, what is the point of them? We've talked about this. What is the point of them being attached to a school? Then it just becomes the G League, and then you can't just have it the same way it is now, because now we just drafting
But
dudes
the
out
thing
of a
about it is,
different version of the G League.
You're not attached to the school per se. You have to go to class. Like if you, obviously everybody on that roster is probably gonna end up. I'm talking about the top players, top NBA. I mean,
Yeah,
college basketball players and X, Y, and Z. Like, and it's really more safe for like the basketball,
yeah. Football, you
football,
have to stay.
and
You
but the
gotta
thing
stay.
about it is, yeah, you got to because you got to be there. It's this conversation is more safe for basketball, I guess, because you get a lot of one and dones.
Yeah,
Either that, either keep it in school, or I mean, if you want to get rid of, open up the draft so you can draft out of high school again.
I think
So
that's
that
ultimately
might
where it gets to. And then you have
so
an
then
AAU style league of high school and college players that like you can go here. But then where does that
and
leave?
at this point, is there room to expand? I mean, all this money and shit like that, and all these players is good and shit like that. Can't I think it's room to at least add 2 more teams to the league right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You could. I forgot. I think it was Bill Simmons was talking about it, and he was like, in 2009, or no, I think he said, yeah, I think it was something like that. It was like in 2009 there was 7 players over the age of 30 that were like an all-star, and he said now there was like 14 that are over the age of 30. And you think about it, it's like yeah, like somebody, like think about Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid. Since KU was on, just made me think about that. They've been in the league for 15 years.
Right.
Or no, 11 years, 12 years, something like
It's
that.
been a long time.
It's
I'll
been
tell
a
you that much.
long time. Paul George is in his 15th or 16th year in the NBA. And they're still like
Look at Ben
solid
Simmons. He ain't
players.
playing it. Ben Simmons been in the league how long? He's been finessing contracts for about 12 years now.
Yeah.
Like,
Like we're talking about, there's a lot of guys who are 34, 35. Like I think he said fuck. It was like there was a year, whatever year he said, it was literally Zach Randolph and David Lee were the only people with like a PER over 20 that were over the age of like 30. Like guys that were 30 in 2011 were old and washed up. Now if you're 30, it's like you in your prime. Like that's crazy. Like Giannis is 31. I don't look at Giannis like, oh, he
right?
washed
He's
up
still
kind of
right.
falling off.
He's still balling. Shit,
That's what
he's
I'm
still
saying.
top
Like
5.
Steph Curry, 37. He just dropped 60 the other night, like a
LeBron's
couple weeks ago.
40, and he still averages
25, 8 and 8.
8 and 8. Like, so, I mean, the way the game is built for more longevity than it is anything.
That's why I
Like,
think eventually the NBA will have some version of relegation. So instead of, like you were saying, instead of adding 2 teams, we add a whole separate league under the NBA, and you can get your whole team pushed down into that league, and then the best team of that league comes up into the other league. And I think that's the
no.
only thing to solve people
We tried doing
losing.
that in our flag league,
Mm-hmm.
like because we got ABC league, and then the best team
Yep.
in the B. If you won the B League championship, you move up and play in the A League. But doing that for 3 years, we seen that even if you was the best team in the B League, you was probably gonna squeeze it in a 10 game season. You probably was gonna only get about max 3 wins and swept the first round of play and knocked out the first round. Like it's not a good concept. Like winning the shitty league doesn't make you able to compete with the big dogs, regardless of what the thing is.
But in that scenario,
So
also, when is the last time the Wizards were good? It's been
yeah, but they're still
15 years of
yeah,
just
but
being bad.
okay, but that's good. So that's but the lower level A League teams. We say that all the time. When the last time y'all been good? But then they go to B League and they would be good every year. So it's just like
I guess tying the NIL to this idea, do you think Duke, if they were able to keep Cooper Flag and if they were able to keep their roster and their next 2 recruiting classes, do you think they could potentially be as good as the Wizards are right now? I think they could. There's a potential that they're a better team than what the Wizards have put together right now, than what Charlotte has put together right now.
I don't see no college team beating the NBA team.
I
I don't
mean,
care how many prospects you got because they still 17, 18-year-old kids coming over. Even though they get drafted as 17, 18-year-old, but it's different because they get drafted and they're rookies, but they still have veterans around them to mold them and do X, Y, and Z's, and a head coach that runs in the NBA and has history in the NBA. I don't know. I just look at it different. It's still a college sports to me, and I don't. And degrading those players after getting drafted and everything they done in college back to basically playing college, then I think that'll take. Then who's the pro? Like, so you tell me I worked hard to get drafted, and 1 year I get drafted, and my team sucks, so now I'm playing against college kids again?
mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
That won't sit right with no pro.
No, because
that wouldn't pass the owners meeting.
But you're looking
the
at it the
first
wrong
go
way.
round.
You're looking at it the wrong way.
I'm looking at it as an athlete.
No. There is no college players. You're in the B league. You're in the B tier league, like you.
Yeah, but B league for who? How many teams are in this B league? Duke,
I don't know.
North Carolina, all them. Like they're still
12, 16. Yeah, it does. It
but they still gonna be associated with college because they're Duke. Like,
Well, yeah, there's no way around that. I mean, if you have
yeah,
to, you
so
might
it's
have.
just like
That's why I said it might have to just be a totally separate league. But I don't know. I don't know how this shit could go. All I know is
they just need to keep what they doing right now,
I don't. It's not gonna work.
but separated from if school is the issue and these kids don't go anyway, just you have an option to go to school. You play for Duke, but you don't go to Duke.
That's weird. That's just as
No,
weird as
it's
what I'm
like
saying though. Like
no, it's
you
not.
don't go to school, but you play for the school, and you live in
You
North
represent
Carolina.
you
What's the
represent
difference
our
between that
school
and Duke being a G League team and playing against G League players? Maybe you
because
do it like that.
they still have the option, like because a lot of these players on this, like a lot of like the back end of that roster still probably go to
So
school
wait,
because who
okay.
knows who they are anyway.
Do
Like
you think
uh,
that the top college teams could beat G League teams?
I don't watch G League basketball like that, but I mean, ain't that's I mean it'll be a better game than an NBA. Like I think a lot of I don't know these G League dudes is be balling too though. So,
True.
but a lot of them are nothing but just the college players who didn't make it in the NBA.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. But then, like Cooper Flag, do you think Cooper Flag will be a better player in 2 years than Jordan Poole? The best player on the
Right.
Washington Wizards is Jordan fucking Poole. So I think, yeah, Duke 2 years from now, if they kept recruiting, could
But
field a
yeah, but
better
who's
team
Duke?
than the Wizards.
But then you got like the dude who's sitting on the fuck who's the big man for the Washington right now? Would kill any big man on Duke right now. That's what I'm trying to say. Is it Alex Starr?
Alex
Starr,
Sarr,
whatever.
I don't think Alex, but what if we recruit the number one big man in the league
Okay, what if
in the country next year,
okay,
and
yeah,
maybe
okay,
he
that's
is
fine.
better
And
than Alex
what if the
Sarr?
Wizards go sign fucking Mark Williams? Nobody on Duke is holding Mark Williams.
That's not true though, because the same people that are getting recruited to Duke are the are the top picks in the draft later.
Yeah, but a lot of those people
That go
don't pan.
be
A lot of
that they
these
go end
draft,
up
a lot of
being
these
better than
draft
those
picks
players.
don't. That ain't true because we've seen a lot of bust in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like through that's why it's only 2 rounds because a lot of people don't pan out. Like it's just like no that
Can I?
out of
Jordan
the
Poole,
50
AJ Johnson, Chris Middleton, Keyshawn George, Alex Sarr.
you know what? Middleton will have a field day playing against Duke.
Of
His
course.
old Unc will probably drop 25 a game.
But hold on, but the part we missing is how many times are you gonna do that? If we had Chris Middleton and Cooper Flag play one-on-one, well not one-on-one,
No,
play
we're not
against
finna
each
do
other,
that.
play against each other 10 times. How many times do you think Chris Middleton is gonna wash him out before eventually
Okay,
nigga,
but we're not
I'm gonna
talking
catch
one
up?
on. This is not 1-on-1 though. We're talking about if the
No, that's why
Wizards
I
were
said
to
the
play.
team. That's why I
Like
took away the one-on-one. I said if they just matched up 10 times, like how many times before Cooper Flag is like, all right, bro, you old, you ain't got no knees, you 35 with no knees.
I get that, but I don't know.
I think you're
I
underestimating how.
no, I think you're underestimating. You really think these kids like we've
Yeah,
seen these number one draft picks go one and done and then go to the league and buzz. Look, Greg Odom. Not what I said. What's his name? Greg. It was Odom,
Greg
right?
Oden, yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, okay.
Him.
So let's use the
Just
Thompson
because you
twins.
right.
If we go by the Duke idea that I use, right? This would be their third. Let's say they went to Duke because they didn't go to college. Let's say they went to Duke. This would be their third year. Do you think Chris Middleton is cooking Amen Thompson that way that you're saying now?
Do I think he's cooking them?
Were you saying like Cooper Flag versus Chris Middleton? He have a field day with him. Is he gonna have a
I'm
field
saying
day?
I know. I said Chris Middleton would have a field day playing against Duke. I didn't say it was against Cooper Flag, but I think he would find his matchups. I think he would find his matchups and drop 25 though on a
But
college team.
there's not going to be matchups if we're getting the top recruits to these top teams in college.
What? But these top recruits
And
don't.
if they stay, the
They don't-
teams become
they
a
top-
different thing.
But we see top recruits play against other colleges and sometimes can't even do
True.
everything. So it's just like So we think he about to just some of these top recruits get drafted off potential, but they don't do shit in the NBA.
Like right now,
We see it all the
do you
time.
think Jared McCain is good in the NBA?
The rookie for the 76ers? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, 70, yeah, I think he's serviceable. He was
So
doing good when he
in this
was
same in the scenario I'm talking about, he would be on the team with Cooper Flag right now.
right.
So that what we're like, I think you're missing the point that a lot of these
I get what you're
guys go
saying,
on and they
but
become starters their first year, and they cook these people in the NBA.
the thing about it is a lot of these players it's just opportunity and fit. Jerry McCain played for when everybody was healthy. He was just a real good piece to add it to that team. Like you get what I'm saying? Like he was with Embiid, Paul George, Oubre, all them. Like he wasn't the face
Yeah,
or the focal point of that team.
true.
So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I
Like
think we can just agree to disagree on this one.
he said, "What?" No, McCain. No, I fuck with him. I'm mad. He kind of got hurt. He was gonna win Rookie of the Year this year.
Easy. But that my point is just like I think you're underestimating
I think there's another
how well put together a team where the top prospects that end up being the best NBA players in the league get to pick where they go and who they play with.
But the thing about it is, if they do this and they stay 2-3 years, the pool of recruiting pool is gonna get smaller because there's only 12 people on the roster.
Yeah.
So how long? If they stay 3 years, then that means half you're only gonna have 3 classes, and then I don't get the rotation of players. Then it's just
get ready for some shit that's gonna be even weirder if the colleges if the sports teams separate from the schools. Half of these schools aren't going to be able to stay alive if the team is separated from the school.
No, the team is not separated. It's kind of just like
perfect example. Do you think Texas as a educational institution will be able to stay alive without sports? Fuck no.
I'm not saying this separate as in like you don't go. You're not a part of Texas no more. We don't have athletics no more. We just an educational institution. I'm just saying our athletes or the ones that's making the millions, our top athletes don't have to come to school. It's kind of like you represent our school. You still Texas and everything like that.
So you
still got to uphold our values and things like that.
So we still play the games at the school. The tickets get sold to the students, and it's all the same shit.
Right. But it's just it's not student athlete no more. Take the student out because we know these athletes don't go to school. It's just I'm an athlete for this school.
Yeah, this is just to me. That's just as weird as me saying if the guys.
No,
stay,
it's not because the
that's
boost.
What people are gonna do. Like you can
still say I play for Texas. But like what school you play for? Texas. It's not what school you go to. It's what school you play for.
But would Arch Manning stay for a 4th year if he was getting paid the same amount he would get paid if he was a rookie in the NFL? He might, right?
But he's not going to make. That's why I'm saying they need to.
What's the incentive? That was my point with the Duke analogy that I kept using was, what is my incentive to leave if the money catches up and I don't have to go to school?
And that's why I said there needs to, if they bring in GMs, the
why
reason
would I leave?
Because you salary capped NILs for these schools.
They're not though. So it could get
That's what I said they need to do. I said once they separate from their schools and they become still a sport team for that school, it's just like no academics involved. Just like if you want to go get GMs for your sports and things like that, then they need to start implementing contracts. Because if I want to go get
hold on, wait. So here's okay. The NIL shit taking over really means that college sports and schools are going to separate from the NCAA totally. So there will be no like real true governing body over the schools. And so
they need to make their own committee.
They'll have to. And that committee I don't think is going to agree to a salary cap when there's multiple billion-dollar boosters for probably 30 schools. So are we gonna like? That's where you get weird. Is like, are we gonna listen to fucking Iowa State complain that KU gets too much money for basketball, so there needs to be a salary cap? that's not going to happen. That's why we separated from the NCAA, because y'all wanted to keep
Well,
everything
I
fair
mean,
in the first place. And that was my point
yeah,
about
that's why they
people are
made
going
a
to
salary cap.
stay. Like,
But that's why they make a salary cap, because you got cities like New York and cities like Kansas City. If there was no
yeah.
salary cap like baseball, then New York would just buy up all the Super Bowls like the Yankees did the World
And
Series.
I think
So yeah, I
there's
think
enough teams that feel like we can compete. Texas, Georgia, Bama, Florida,
right,
Tennessee, KU for basketball, fucking Oregon is literally run by fucking Nike. North
right.
Carolina, like there's all these teams that there's so many teams that don't give a fuck that's why I think eventually you get that instead. We're gonna move to our own league. Well, fuck a salary cap. If you can't compete, oops. Do you want to play against us so you can make some money and maybe you're on TV for a half a game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it gets weird. Like, we're entering a very that's what we both saying. There's no good answer here. If that happens, this is
No.
not gonna be good. Really, I don't think. Like, now that we're talking it out, like, this doesn't sound good. Because you're saying, like, yeah, they need a salary cap, and I'm saying, hey, like, okay, then why would I ever go pro if I make the same money and I get to stay in a college environment but not go to school, not have to worry about being scrutinized for being an NBA player? Like, what? Why? And I actually get to play. If I go to the NBA, I might not even play. I'm the star here, and now we recruiting other guys. They coming in. Like, this shit just gonna get. This is too much. It's too wacky.
I don't know.
This shit is too wacky. They fucked it up. The NIL is really fucking it up. This might be some old man shit that we doing, but like, this doesn't sound good.
I'm just mad because I couldn't take my advantage. Like, damn.
Yeah. God, it's so. All right, let's wrap it up. We've been on for 2 hours. This is a long ass pod.
Oh damn.
Yeah, we about to hit 2 hours right now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast as much as I didn't say this right already. Fucking subscribe, like, comment what you think. Whether you think the college should separate from the NCAA, the schools. How do you think that would go? Comment below. There you go. All right, we out.
Peace.